I remember this night, he's sitting across the table from me, and I saw it in the video just then, where he was happy, and then face changed. Everyone can see his demeanor change. Everybody knew when it was fixing to happen, when he was gonna turn. That's a part of my life that I don't even want to have anymore. I think it would be good for me to throw these tapes away because I've been stuck in limbo in this for so long that this might be something that to help me push out. His mistake was not keeping his secret to himself. He's not who I thought he was when I married him. Things changed with him so fast. Back and forth. I'm sorry. This isn't supposed to happen. I don't know if I can do this. I feel right now like I did when I was living with him. Can I stop? Absolutely. All of a sudden, I feel like I'm back in the house. I feel like I'm still stuck there. I feel afraid, and he's in prison. He's not getting out. And I'm scared. I don't know why. I know I agreed to do this show, and I probably shouldn't have. I grew up in New London, Connecticut. I was in the Navy as a photographer's mate. When I divorced with my first husband, my life was a mess, and it was a decision for him to raise the children. And this was back in 1985. I needed a change. I just wanted to move somewhere where there was no snow. I wanted a fresh start. I moved in Georgia in 1994, and I met Craig in August of 98. I was at a friend of mine's house. We were partying that night, drinking some beers and singing karaoke and just being stupid. And when I woke up the next morning, there was this guy sitting on her couch, and I was like, ooh, he's kind of good looking.
Hi, I don't think I met you. I'm Craig.
Hi, I'm Robin.
When I looked at him, it was instant chemistry. I just immediately thought, that's the one. I had the butterflies and the constant grin. He had brought it up that, maybe we can go to dinner sometime.
Since we didn't get to talk last night, would you want to grab a bite?
Yeah.
I saw that he was interested, and I knew I was. And then he was very nice, and we talked. He was goofy. He was funny. You wouldn't believe that he was an angry person. You wouldn't believe that he was an abusive person. You wouldn't believe that this is a person that could kill somebody. He had us all fooled. Almost every night. We all used to go after work. We'd go to our friend's house and we'd shoot darts, drink beer, play cards. His friends were like, we never saw Craig like this. He just seems so happy. You're the best thing for him. I thought, this is it. Yay, finally, I got my life the way I wanted it to be. But there was this one friend, and his name was Jack.
Hey, Jack.
Hey, can I talk to you for a minute?
Hey, what's up?
He's like, you need to just calm down with him. You need to back off a little bit because he's not what you think. And I was like, well, what do you mean? He's bad news. Just be careful.
What do you mean bad news?
My thought was, bad news? What? He cheated on his ex-girlfriend? He drinks too much beer and falls asleep in the table?
Let's just say he has anger issues.
He's like, I know that everybody thinks that you guys are great together, and maybe you are. He said, but he is evil. He will hit you. He will scream at you. He's just angry. That was a warning to run. But when Jack told me that, I honestly dismissed it. I haven't seen that. I thought that Jack was interested in me, and that's why he wanted me to get away from Craig. That's why I dismissed it. I really thought that he had ulterior motives, you know.
I don't know what he was like before, but he's not like that with me.
At that point, I did not see a bad part of Craig at all. I did not see any indication whatsoever that things would go the way that they did. When we moved in together, it wasn't long before I started to see a different side of Craig. I started seeing the little bit here and there of the anger pop out. Our first Christmas Eve, a couple of months into the relationship, he came home angry for no reason that I know of. I could tell he was drunk. He was slurring his words and kind of wobbling around.
Oh, look who decided to show up.
I'm hungry. Fix me something.
He said, "Woman, get in that kitchen and make me something to eat." I thought he was joking.
Are you kidding me?
I hadn't seen the mean part of him yet, so I wasn't afraid to stand up to him. So I confronted him about him acting like he is. What is wrong with you, kind of thing.
If you want something to eat, go make it yourself.
His face just changed. He went from this to this. That was scary. I mean, it was just like this face and then this face. And that's when he grabbed me by my wrist and tossed me into the wall. I was in shock at first.
Off of me!
I had never seen him like that before. Never. I said to myself, I'm not going to be abused.
What the hell is wrong with you?
Stop it. I'm sorry.
And of course, the promises. Oh, I was just drunk and I don't believe I did that. I should have left. I should have ran out then.
Please. Let's have a nice Christmas.
But I desperately wanted things to work because I thought I knew him. I thought I knew that he was my soulmate. And I thought that it was just one time. It never happened before. It actually didn't happen for a long time after that. Like years after that, it never happened again. But in my soul, looking back, I think Craig always had that in him, the evil, and almost enjoyed making people hurt physically or emotionally. And I think he learned how to hide that very well. But then when that mask would slip, it would be this uncaring, almost relish in hurting people, just liked it. I've always been a worrier, always worried about, we gotta make sure the bills are paid, gotta make sure that we have enough money. One day we were talking about money and I was a little worried.
I don't think we can afford to go away next weekend. Look at this credit card bill.
Craig said not to worry, he's got a lot of money coming in.
Relax. In a couple months, all our money problems are going to be taken care of.
What do you mean?
And he said, years ago, me and my cousin Terry, we got life insurance policies on each other. And now that he's missing, as soon as he's declared dead, I come into all that money. So don't worry too much.
Wait, what? What are you talking about?
I was asking him, he disappeared? Really? He's like, yeah, they found his car in the Okefenokee swamp.
Wait, your cousin is missing? What happened?
The car was running, I guess, all night or all day, whatever, before they found it. It was out of gas. The door was open. He had specifics about this car. And that kind of struck me as a little odd, but then I thought, well, maybe it was all in the paper. I've never heard of Terry before. I'm from Connecticut, and I moved down here in 94. And this whole thing happened in 91.
So, I'm confused. Why would you get the insurance money?
I was asking him, I was like, well, what do you mean insurance policy? He's on your cousin?
We took out policies on each other, just in case.
Most people only have insurance policies for their spouse. You don't do it for your friend, your buddy, your cousin. but they were even closer than brothers, is what he used to tell me. Terry was his best friend. He was his brother. They were never apart, always together from the time that they were little until Terry disappeared. Now that I think about it, it is very strange that he waited for Terry to be declared dead instead of waiting for Terry to see if he'll come home.
Maybe he started over somewhere or...
I thought Terry just ran away. Some people do. I did. I ran away from Connecticut. I did it. You know, maybe he had to do the same thing. Fresh start.
I doubt it.
But I never, ever, ever, ever heard Craig talk about his cousin maybe being found alive. Ever.
My God. It's horrible.
Yeah.
He just told me that Terry was gone and they never found him. Matter of fact, he said they never found his body. Now that I think about it, that's pretty weird too.
But you know, it could wind up being something good for us.
Why would Craig say they never found his body if he didn't know Terry was dead? This was our wedding day. It was a very happy day. We got married May 13th, 2000. That was my fairy tale. Everything was just perfect. This was the beginning of what I thought was going to be the perfect life that I always wanted. That, you know, someone who always would care about me and we would protect each other and it's almost sad to look at this because the fairy tale ended when I realized that this wasn't the man I thought it was. Craig would bring up his cousin Terry's disappearance now and then. And Craig had this habit that he would get you to believe the stupidest things, the silliest things. He would get you worked up into believe something and you believe in it, and then he'd go, just kidding. You're so stupid. I can't believe you believed that. And one night, we were watching this movie about these army guys training in the bayou. And he had said, that's where Terry's at.
Hey, what do you know? Just like Terry.
I'm like, what? What do you mean Terry's in the swamp? Yeah, I put him in there. Get out of here. He's like, no, I'm serious. I put him in the swamp. When did you put him in the swamp? He said, right after I killed him. And you're thinking, yeah, okay.
Oh, please.
That's why I dumped him. In the swamp, just like that.
And I was just like, you're kidding, right? He's like, nope, dead serious. I killed him and put him in the swamp because he was sleeping with my wife.
You're telling me you killed your cousin?
Yep. Just like that.
And I just believed that that was just one of his silly jokes. I was waiting for the punchline. Then I let it go because he's just saying it to get my reaction, just to see if I would go, oh.
Shut up. I'm not falling for that.
I didn't believe it. The story would change just a little bit from I put him in the swamp to I cut him up and put him in the swamp to I put him in trash bags. And about 4 or 5 years into our marriage, he started using Terry's disappearance as a threat to me. I remember clear one night that he was out partying. I didn't feel like going. I just wanted to stay home. He just came in and he started spurting at me all the horrible things I am and all the awful things I've ever done.
You've been sitting here all night, you lazy cow?
Just giving me this barrage of hate, just awful things that I'm ugly and disgusting and stupid and I never do anything he says that I'm worthless and there ain't nothing good about me. I just sat there in shock. I didn't know what to say. And then he just started telling me that he was going to put me in the swamp like Terry. He's gonna make me gator bait. I'll kill you, and just like I did Terry, I'll just kill you, chop you up, put you in the swamp, and won't nobody ever find your body. He told me that he got away with murder for 20 years. Not a problem. He's done it before. He'll do it again. The look in Craig's eye was pure hatred. It was very scary. And it made me believe every word he was saying. There was no doubt. That was the truth. He was telling me the truth. And if it was true, and if he did it once, then what? If it was that easy for him to do to his cousin that he loved so much, it might be easy to do to anybody. Oh my God, I was scared to death. I wanted to get out of the whole situation, but no money. Where was I going to go? Family's in Connecticut, and really not a very close family, so I couldn't go back there. If I were to leave him, he would find me. If I were to ever call the police because of the way he treated me, he would get out of jail and kill me. Okay, so just live with it, deal with it, and hope for the best that it's not true. Ugh. That is the person behind the mask. I can't look at that because that's a person I saw every day. I'm scared of him. Now even. Please don't make me look at that again. The sudden fear when I saw that face, it hasn't gone away yet. That put me right back into the house, scared, afraid. That's the person I saw all the time, and that's the person I see in my head when I remember. God, I did not expect that reaction out of me right there. It got me shaking. Holy. I'm flabbergasted at my reaction to that picture. I thought I was way over that. He asked me one day if I would go shopping and buy one of those, those big picture frames that you put different pictures in one frame. I thought he was going to put family pictures, maybe my family and his family all combined in one frame. I thought that was pretty nice, So I did. I brought home this big, huge frame, and he started putting in the newspaper clippings of Terry about how Terry's car was found, how they suspected Craig, pictures of Terry's face and stuff in this collage. And I'm like, that's morbid. When I read that he was the suspect, that they suspected that he was the only one that could have did it, I asked him about that. I was like, they knew that it was you? And he's like, yeah, but they couldn't prove it because there's no body. I believe he was proud of that collage. And he'd hang it on the wall in the living room. I'd take it down, and he'd put it up. I'd take it down, he'd put it up. It was a game for him. Look what I did and got away with it. I knew the truth, but what was I supposed to do? Could I run to the police and say, well, they couldn't prove it for 20 years. What am I going to do? If I did not do exactly what he wanted, I was gator bait. He would tell me, I will do to you what I did to Terry. You are gator bait. So just shut up, deal with it, and go on tomorrow like nothing happened. But I did feel like I knew too much. Sometimes I felt like he believed I knew too much. And I never doubted that he was going to kill me. It was just a matter of how and when. As time progressed, my imagination just got bigger and bigger as I believed the story more and more. Once we moved into the other place, we were in the bedroom, unpacking stuff in our new place, putting things in the closet.
Hey, what's this? I haven't seen this before.
And Craig had this metal box. It was just like a little army green metal army box. It was locked.
Sounds kind of heavy.
I was like shaking it. I said, what's in this? He said, that's mine. It's my private things. You just leave it alone. I'm nosy. I'm very nosy. I want to know. I want to know, what's that? What's that? Where's that? I'm like a little child. What's this? What's that? And I was like, really? I want to know what's in it. Open it up. I want to see what's in it. I started asking questions about that box. That's when everything changed.
I seriously can't know what's in here.
I said it's none of your business.
He grabbed it out of my hands. Don't you ever touch that box again. That is my private property. You don't touch it. I almost felt like he was going to take it and hit me with it, honestly. And it scared me. When he told me, don't you ever touch this again. You know what will happen to you. And I knew what he was referring to. He was referring to putting me in the swamp.
Unless you want to go see Terry. Because that can be arranged.
At first I thought there was maybe just like Playboy magazines in that box he didn't want me to see. But the box itself was heavy. So there's got to be something in that box that he's hiding. That if anybody else found it, they would know beyond a shadow of a doubt that he was involved with Terry's disappearance. I was so curious. I wanted to know what was in it, but I was too afraid to look. Even if he wasn't home and didn't know that I got into it, I still didn't do it because I knew that maybe he said it a certain way, that if I moved it, he would see. I was just too afraid, and I never did know what was in that box. I gave Craig a gun cabinet for his birthday one year that had keys. It was one of those glass fronts on the top, and then on the bottom it was like a locked little compartment. And he took those keys and never allowed me into that gun cabinet. And I didn't think too much of it until our marriage started getting worse and worse and worse. And I started getting more afraid of what was going to happen. And it kind of made me determined that I wanted to know what he's hiding in that gun cabinet. Well, I was home alone a lot, too, when he was at work, so I found a way in. I unscrewed the hinges. Took that door off. There was a little black gun in there that I don't know where that came from. I'd never seen this gun before. And so that kind of made me a little nervous. That scared me because I thought, what is he doing with this gun that I don't know about? And it was a little gun. It was only like this big. Behind the glass, there was two guns. There was a .22 rifle and a shotgun. You could see those guns. There was no reason to hide those guns. Why was he hiding this gun? It was hidden from me for a reason. And I thought that that was the gun that he was going to kill me with. Because it was small enough to hide, easy to get rid of, I imagine. Damn it. I had to be meticulous and put each hinge right back where it was. I just made sure everything was perfect. If Craig saw me in that gun cabinet, I would have been dead. I know he wanted me dead. I know that for a fact. I have no doubt. He told me many times. I can't say that there was physically no way for me to leave him, but he had broken me down. I was so broken that I didn't care anymore. One night, he went out. He came home in a rage. I was watching the TV. He walked in front of me, went down under that gun cabinet, took the gun out, didn't say a word, didn't even look at me. I expected him to just turn around and shoot me. But he didn't even look at me. He didn't even acknowledge my existence. Went out the front door, shot it in the air like 3 or 4 times, Walked back in, put the gun back in the gun cabinet, and left. It scared me. I was just sitting on the couch looking at the TV, hoping that maybe if I ignored it, it would go away. I honestly think that night, either he was going to shoot me and lost his nerve and decided to go do that, shoot it in the air, or maybe it was just to let me know that it's coming. When he left, I went out there and I looked on the ground and I saw the casings there where he had shot, and I picked them all up. I gave a couple to a friend, and I said, if anything happens to me, this is the gun they came out of. I just figured if somebody had these casings, at least somebody will know what happened to me. I won't be like Terry. They won't have to wonder if Craig did it. That way he won't get away with at least this murder. I knew he was going to kill me. The way he looked at me that last time, he was going to kill me. It was going to happen very soon. One night when he was especially crazy, I was laying in the bed, and I heard Craig come in drunk, and I just pretended I was asleep. And I heard him in the gun cabinet. When I heard him go in the living room in the gun cabinet, I sat up and I just watched him. He had his .22 in his hand and he was walking around the house, unscrewing the light bulbs. All the way out, not anger smashing them, he would just take them out, put them on the ground or on the table, wherever he was, and just go on to the next. I watched him do it in the kitchen, down the hallway, watched him go into the living room, the lights went off. I watched him go into the bathroom and the light went off. He was very methodical. This was planned. I could hear my heartbeat. I could feel my heartbeat in my ears. It got faster. And I thought, what am I going to do? How am I going to get out of this? And weird thing is right about then, Tina, my daughter, called me. My first thought was, I have to shut this phone up. I have to shut this phone up. If I do not shut this phone up, he's coming this way. Tina. She said, I just had a weird feeling I needed to call you. I said, he's going to kill me. He's going to kill me tonight. He's unscrewing light bulbs. He's got a gun. I'm going to die.
What do I do?
And she said, hang up the phone and get out of that house. As soon as I got off the phone with her, I just looked around and I didn't see him. He went out the front door and he went to cut the phone line. When he went out the front door, I ran out the back door and around and down the street and waited for Tina to come pick me up. Tina was having marital problems, so she moved down here because she had nowhere else to go. And I got in her car and we went to her house. She saved me because I was going to die that night. I have no doubt. She had no doubt. We both knew. I was scared to death to go back to that house, and I knew I needed to get a restraining order on him. When we went into the hearing, Craig had to be there, and the judge said, why are you afraid of him? Why are you so scared he's going to kill you? And I said, because he killed his cousin.
He's killed before.
The judge says, well, how do you know that? Because he told me. He told me he killed his cousin.
How about it, Mr. Thrift? You a murderer.
This is not an exaggeration. Craig said, did you find a body yet? Just like that. Just arrogant, like, can't touch me. That is not the actions of an innocent person. And still the judge didn't believe me.
I don't see any prior police reports, nor do I see evidence of a threat here.
He said, well, I've thought about it and I don't believe a word you say. So we're going to err on the side of caution and give you the restraining order. But you have 2 weeks to get out of that house. 2 weeks. Craig took it that the judge was on his side, and he could be just showing me like, look at this, girl. I can say this to this judge in a public courtroom, and they still don't believe you. That Friday night, when I got the restraining order, I had talked to Tina on the phone, and she said, good, I'm glad you got the restraining order. I'll be over in a little while. Well, she never came, and I thought, oh, she must have got sidetracked or whatever. And then the next day, I got a phone call from one of Tina's other friends.
Hello?
And he said, you better go down to Tina's boyfriend's house because there's police everywhere and something's going on.
I'll be right there.
Went down there and I saw the police. And I thought, what the heck? There's police tape everywhere. And I walked up and the woman said, are you Robin? I said, yes. She said, are you Tina's mother? I said, yes. She said, well, she's deceased. I was like, well, just let me in there. I can help her. Just let me go in there. I know it sounds crazy, but when you're in that minute, your brain doesn't want to accept it. I heard the word, but my brain didn't accept it. So I thought, I'll just fix it. I'll just go fix it. I can help her. Let me go take care of her. The only thing she said was, it's a crime scene. You can't go in there. And I thought, crime scene? Then it hit me. I never saw her. They never let me see her. They immediately took her directly to Atlanta for autopsy. Tina died of a massive drug overdose. When I did realize that it was drug overdose, I knew physically Craig wasn't involved as far as I didn't picture him standing over her, killing her. But she died of the same drugs that he did. And I do know that she got the drugs from him. The timing was ridiculous. Restraining order, she's dead. That doesn't just happen out of nowhere. Friday, the restraining order. Saturday, we found Tina. The next Sunday, I had gone right to church. His father was a deacon in that church. And I went and talked to his dad and his wife and told them what happened with Tina.
I don't know if you heard. Tina overdosed.
Does Craig know this?
No, I haven't told him.
And his dad had called right there, right where I was standing there. He called Craig and said, I just want you to know that Robin's daughter, Tina, died last night. And he said, good, bitch deserved it. I could hear it over the phone. That was his exact words. What kind of human being is that cold to say that?
Why don't you take a few moments?
Thank you.
Sometimes when I think about that conversation, sometimes my brain goes to that he said she deserves it or she deserved it. If he said deserves with an S, he meant that I deserve it. I deserve to have my daughter dead. If he said deserved with a D, then he meant that Tina deserved to be dead. There is a big part of me that believes that Craig gave Tina something that he knew that she couldn't come back from. For what reason, I can only speculate. He could have wanted her to go away because she knew too much. I'm not going to sit here and say Craig did this on purpose and killed my daughter, because I don't know. But my brain goes there. I will never forgive myself for this situation. Never. The first realization that he was watching me, I started seeing Craig drive slowly past my house back and forth every now and then, and I was afraid of what he had planned. I was afraid to go out and check my mail. I was afraid to go to work. I was afraid to go home. I was afraid to not be home. I was afraid to go to the store. Because I didn't know if he was behind me, if he was ahead of me, if he's over there behind that bush. He's capable of anything. I had my friends come stay with me at that point. She would watch and I would watch, and I would sleep and she would sleep. I took pictures of him driving by in his truck with that little black gun. Went directly to the judge. The first thing the judge says, well, you can't prove that that's his truck or him in the truck. What do you mean? I have a picture that's showing you right here, but you can't prove it. I don't know what else to do. What else can I do? There was no peace for me, and I didn't know what to do about it. Look what he got away with before for 20 damn years. And I didn't know how to defend myself. I don't know how to fight. So all I could do was hope that someone would come and help me. Not even a year later, maybe about 4 or 5 months, I was contacted by the detective from Ware County. That's when they started questioning me about what I knew about what Craig had done with Terry.
I don't understand what's changed after all this time.
I said, what would make you come now? Talk to me. She said, well, we are under the understanding that in open court, you accused him of killing Terry. My stomach dropped right there. At the time when I said that Craig had killed his cousin, the judge asked me a question. I gave him the honest answer. I didn't think that it was going any further. And someone had told someone who told someone, and it got back to the detectives in Ware County.
You're saying he did this?
Yes.
They asked me if Craig said anything to me ever about admitting it, if I did what he said, how he said it. They asked me all kinds of stuff.
He always says that he's going to put me in the swamp just like Terry.
I told the truth, and that's all I could do. It was time for all this to stop. It was time for Terry's family to stop wondering. I didn't know that so many people were testifying. I thought I was basically the only one. But all the people in our group were contacted by law enforcement, and they all started testifying. And I could not believe everyone had the exact same story of what he said to us about how, where, when with Terry's murder. He would talk about this, say this to everyone. His mistake was not keeping his secret to himself. Now it's 10 years since then. To this day, I feel if he ever gets out of prison, he's coming. I go online every now and then and look up the offender search just to make sure he's still in there, because I do worry that he will get paroled one day. He was actually eligible for parole in May of 2019. And I don't know how far he will go to try to find me, because all he's got right now is time to be angry. And when he only had a little bit of time to be angry, it was bad enough. But now here's years of him being angry. If he ever gets out, I'm dead. I have guns in my house. I know exactly where they are. I know exactly how to use them, and I am ready, just in case. When I think of everything I went through, I would never have believed that I married someone like that. The truth set me free from that situation, but it's hard to live now with that knowing. Telling this story made me realize that I have been blaming myself for a whole lot of things that weren't my fault. And there's a little bit of more work to do to try to forgive myself for certain things, but I think this is a real good thing for me. This is gonna allow me to have a life and get out of all this. Thanks. I'm sorry.
This is the first time I've seen this picture. This is the man who fathered my children. You meet a guy, you fall in love with him, you know, he could tell you the sky is pink and you go, yeah, it is, and you know it's blue. But you go along with it because you're in love with this guy and you feel like he wouldn't do anything to put you in any harm's way. Whatever I did feel for this man, it doesn't exist anymore. That died a long time ago. The whole time I was looking at him, I was just thinking, can I reach him? Can I get to him before they get to me? How much damage can I do if I do get to him? Will it be enough to end his life? 2 seconds, that's all I need is 2 seconds. And I'm willing to go to jail for that because I have nothing to live for. I hope you rot in hell. When we first met and became involved with each other, he was a little bit older than me. I met him in school. He was very gentle, very, very, very kind, and that very attentive.
I like your smile.
He just was so, I guess the word is smooth. I felt the way that he treated me was something that I hadn't experienced with anybody else. Everything just fell into place.
I've been having such a good time with you. I have something to tell you.
I got pregnant, and when I found out he was excited about it, you know.
Yeah?
That was his baby, and what he wanted to do was to marry me, so that's what we did. The day that I got married, it was November 21st, 1964. It was surreal. I was happy. I was finally Mrs. Reginald Brooks. And I just figured we'd be together for the rest of our lives, like you're supposed to, till death us do part. And I believe that. We had our second child, and we were still getting along really, really well. At least in my mind, I thought we were. The only thing that I, had a little bit of concern with was why are you always trying to keep people away from me? My favorite uncle was visiting our family. He was at my parents' home.
Hello?
And my mother called to tell me that he was here and wanted to see me. And I was excited about that.
Oh, yeah? How long is he here for?
They're going to come over here and visit for a little bit. I made all these arrangements.
Maybe you guys could stop by today. We're not up to much anyway. Yeah? I'd love that. Well, I'll see you soon then.
Who's that?
And then when I told Reggie about it, and he's like, well, they're not coming in here.
I don't want them here right now.
I'm like, what do you mean they're not coming in here? When they get here, just don't answer the door. And I said, why not? He said, because I don't want anybody in here. And I'm like, okay. He didn't say it mean. He didn't say it, demanding or anything. It was just a normal conversation.
I really don't feel like entertaining anybody right now.
I didn't know where that was coming from. Maybe he just didn't feel like, having no company here. I had no way to warn my mother because there were no cell phones back then. So I couldn't call and divert them.
Reggie, can I get the door?
They came and they knocked and they knocked and they knocked, and I wasn't allowed to open the door and let them in.
Reggie,
Don't. Please.
please.
It felt like an eternity to me that my mother and my uncle were standing on the porch knocking on the door to get in, knowing that I should be there.
Reggie, I need to answer the door. This is very strange.
And I wasn't opening the door. I was just standing there and just hoping that, eventually that they would stop knocking and just go home. I was very young and very naive to a lot of things. I was a little too embarrassed to even go over there, even later on, and, even try to explain anything, because I was just like, wow, what do I say? That was just that one time, and after that, if anybody were to come around or come to visit, whatever, I just go to her house. It just made it easier. If he didn't want to go, that's fine, but we're going. You don't want to participate in anything, that's fine, we're going. So it never happened again. He was a loner. And I kind of respected that, but then he started not wanting to do too much. He stopped going out of the house.
Can't catch me. Now you can't catch me.
He wouldn't go anywhere. He wouldn't go to the store with me. He wouldn't go to anybody's home with me. If we were invited anywhere, he didn't want to go.
Reg, you want to come into town with us? We're going to go to the movies.
Just gonna hang out here for a little bit.
He didn't want to be around his family. He didn't want to be around my family. He would sit on the porch and he would watch the kids play. And then eventually he stopped even sitting on the porch and he just stayed in the house. I didn't perceive that as being strange. He just was a recluse. He just got to the point that he didn't want to associate, or he disassociated himself from the outside world. That's how I perceived it. It's like, okay, if this is how you want to live, or this is how you want to be, that's on you, but we're not going to stay locked up in this house. We're going to do what we do on a daily basis. If you're content to sit in here, then that's what you do. He felt somebody out there was out to get him or trying to poison him. I had made this beef stew. Me not eating with them was not unusual because if I'm making sure everybody is fed, I'm doing stuff. But he wasn't feeling all that great and he was sick.
Beverly?
Yeah, babe?
And then he comes in there like, I've done something.
What are you trying to do? You better tell me what's in this. Okay, don't you play stupid.
And accused me of putting stuff in his food.
What are you talking about?
He said, what'd you put in the food? And I said, seasoning, what I always do.
Are you okay?
I don't know why you would think I would do something like that. Where would I even get poison?
Stop denying it. That's why you haven't eaten any of the stew.
Come on, the kids ate it too. Do you really think I would poison my own children?
Prove it.
What?
I said prove it.
He is like, well, I need you to eat it.
Eat a bowl right now.
Fine.
I'm like, okay, I don't have a problem eating it. So I did, and he stood there while I ate it. And I ate it.
See? Nothing wrong with me.
I don't know why you're feeling this way. I don't know why you're sick. Has nothing to do with your food.
Reggie, you really don't look so well.
He still wasn't feeling any better. So I finally convinced him to go to emergency because I don't know what's going on. And he had appendicitis. They took him straight in and took him up, and they said he had half an hour to live before he would have died from it rupturing. And if I had not made him get in that car, he would have died. All I had to do was wait a half an hour. I'm sitting there and I'm looking at him, and I tell him, I will kill you.
Got it?
If you think I'm kidding, try me. He was becoming more and more paranoid being at work. He felt that his co-workers were out to get him or do him harm and was trying to poison him, and at that point, quit his job. After he quit working, Reginald's behavior started to change. The kids' friends would come by and visit with them. He would disappear into our bedroom. But he would be peeping out at them and would stare at us, looking to see what we're doing, acting strange. He never came out of the bedroom.
Mom, he's doing that thing again. He keeps staring at us.
But, he wasn't bothering anybody, and it didn't bother me, so I'm saying to myself, don't pay him any attention. That's just what he does.
He's just going through a rough patch. I think it's his nerves.
Can you tell him to stop?
We're not going to be isolated because you don't want to be bothered. I didn't think it was that serious. I just felt that this was something that our family was going through. He's acting strange, and more than one person is seeing it. But we're still trying to move forward to make it better. So, okay, I can handle this, and we can work through this and get it together. I would be getting ready for bed, and Reggie was in there laying on the bed watching his television shows. He'd been doing that all day. And at a certain time of the evening, the TV would go off. They called it signed off. You'd get this snow, or you'd get this Target picture on there making this noise. He did not turn it off. He left it on. It's that all night long. And I'm like, can you turn that off? I gotta go to work in the morning. I need to go to sleep. And I can't sleep very well with that noise on there. He just ignored all of that.
Reggie, you gonna turn the TV off? Reggie!
I was not going to get up and turn off because I didn't know what that would do. I mean, he wasn't physically abusive with me, but I wasn't trying to get to that point. So I was just like, well, I'll just have to tune it out so that I could get some rest. You're so tired, you have no choice but to go to sleep. You can sleep through anything. So I just kind of blocked it out and got my rest and would get up and go to work. In the middle of the night, I woke up to smelling smoke. So I got up to see, and it was inside the house in the kitchen area. So I went in there to see what was going on. And I had a rag doll. It was an ornament that you hang on the wall. And he had laid it on the stove and turned on a very low flame and set the doll on fire. I don't think it had been on there very long. It was just on there long enough to cause smoke, because all I had to do was take it off and put it under some water, and it was under control.
Reggie, why would you put this on the stove? You could have burned down the whole house.
He was in bed when I woke up to the smoke. So he had gone in there and done that and got back in bed. I'm like, what is wrong with you? Why would you turn the stove on and we're all sleeping? Why would you do something like that?
Reggie, please answer me. I can't help you if you don't talk to me.
But I just never got any response as to why. So it's like beating a dead horse. So why keep asking the same question if you're not going to get an answer? I had to let it go. But that made me more on my toes of, okay, now I gotta be aware that you might go in there and put something on the stove. I don't know what. It was actually strung up like in a noose by his neck, like it had been hung, and had a hole in his heart. That was just devastating to me. I was just trying to make it through day by day. In my own mind, I guess I was thinking, what's going to happen now? What's he going to do tomorrow? Our youngest son, Niarchos, had a little doll as a dog, and he slept with that doll. Well, I got up one morning, and as I go into the living room before I wake up the children, I see this doll. The doll was hanging up on the chandelier. I didn't know why it was up there. And my first thought was, oh, maybe they were playing, they got hung up there and they just didn't take it down. But as I looked closer, it was actually strung up like in a noose. And it had a hole in his heart. So I know the kids did not do that. So I take it down before the kids see it up there. I don't know what their reaction would be to it.
Reggie! Why would you put this up there?
I say to Reggie, what was the purpose of you doing that? And he just kind of looks at me and he just never answered that question.
What are you doing, Reggie? Reggie! Tell me something!
It was like talking to myself, so why continue the conversation? I know that Reggie believed in voodoo. I know that he felt like there were certain things that you could do, that you could put a spell on somebody. So this is when things started becoming a little, what's going on with you?
Easy, chaka, chaka.
It sounded like incantations or chantings. I don't want to say speaking in tongue, but I certainly didn't know what he was saying. I'm not sure if he's saying something or singing something or talking to himself or what's going on. And so at that point, I decided to call the police. Somebody needs to come in here and do something because I don't know what to do.
Easy, yeah, Chaka.
I sent the kids to their room and I called the police.
Wazulu. Wazulu. Yes.
This is the police. Please open the door.
As soon as they knock on the door, whatever he's chanting, saying, or whatever in the room, he stops doing that.
Hello?
They say, can we come in? He says, yes. They go in there. They talk to him. I don't go in there. They're in there for about maybe 15 minutes, 20 minutes, and they're talking to him, what's going on. I don't really hear what he's saying to them. And then they tell me that they're leaving.
You're not going to do anything.
Ma'am, frankly, we can't do anything else.
And they said, no. I said, well, why aren't you taking him with you? And they said, well, he's coherent. He's answering our questions. Has he harmed you physically? I'm like, no.
He's no immediate threat to anyone.
But you heard him yourself.
He's in there talking crazy. I don't know what he's saying. Can't you take him out of here, take him to the hospital, take him somewhere? And they said no.
If he hurts you or any of your kids, certainly give us a call. But until then, this is the best we can do.
That was just devastating to me. I called the hospital and tried to talk to a psychiatrist to see what they could tell me. They told me I'd have to bring him in. I'm like, well, that's not happening because I can't get him to go anywhere. So I was between a rock and a hard place. One day, I walk into the kitchen. The phone is off the wall. It's clearly broken. So I'm thinking, is the fact that I called the police upsetting to him?
Why would you do this?
And he said, I don't need people listening in on any conversations or recording conversations.
Nobody is listening, Reggie. Why would anybody care about our phone calls?
I said, what people? What are you talking about? He thought the conversations on there were being recorded by somebody or listening to.
Who?
You know who.
If he was having one of those paranoid episodes, I need to be on alert with him. I just didn't know what he would do next or what he could be capable of doing. At that point, just a watchful eye on everything.
Off of me!
I woke up to a lot of commotion, and it was coming from the kids' room. I come into the hallway and I see them in the kids' room. And he was literally jumping on our oldest son.
Reggie!
He was beating on our oldest son. And I'm trying to pull him off of him.
Reggie, what has gotten into you?
Don't try and stand up for him.
When I got him to at least stop beating on him, I said, what did he do that's so bad? He knows what he did. He knows what he did.
Will you relax?
Don't tell me what to do. I can handle myself.
I said, sweetie, what is your daddy talking about? What did you do? He said, Mama, I don't know.
That boy's gonna get exactly what's coming to him. You hear me?
Yeah?
Exactly.
Well, you better step back or you're gonna get some too.
He's wondering what the heck is going on.
Baby, why did he hit you?
I didn't do anything. Liar! I didn't!
He just kept saying, he knows what he did. He knows what he did. And I said, well, clearly he doesn't.
I'll handle this.
I said, are you okay? And he goes, yeah. And I said, okay, well, just go lay back down. And he went back to bed.
Reggie, living room, now.
They've done nothing wrong. They've never been disrespectful. They never even talked back to him.
What is going on, Reggie?
Now, I'm not going back to bed because I can't trust him to not go back in there.
Why would you do this?
Okay, so now you're taking sides. That's what
I'm
it
not
is?
taking sides, but this is unacceptable.
That boy got exactly what he had coming to him.
So I said, I don't know what he did or didn't do in your mind's eye, but I will tell you this.
I'm not playing games anymore. You understand?
He's my child. And if you ever put your hands on my son again like that, I will kill you.
Got it?
I said, if you think I'm kidding, try me. I never met anything so much in my life. He used to kind of help them with their homework and stuff.
Hey, why is that one blank?
Having study sessions at the dining room table, and I just go around the table, who needs help with what? Reginald said something to Vaughn, and Vaughn said something back to him.
What did you say to me?
I said...
And he smacked him. Reggie smacked Vaughn. He smacked him in the face.
Stop! You get off of him!
I jumped up and I went and got in between them, trying to pull them apart.
Get off of him!
And then, in doing so, Reginald Sr. smacked me.
Mom, are you okay? Get off of him!
Stop!
And the next thing I know, Reginald Jr. was on top of Reginald Sr.
It's not worth it. Get off of him! No!
And then Vaughn. All they were trying to do was wrestle him down to keep him from hitting anybody. After everything was over, all I could, hear my husband say was, you're dead meat, y'all dead meat, you're dead meat.
You shouldn't have done that.
That's the final straw. I'm done with it. Him jumping on the kids like that, I'm not having this. I'm not subjecting them to this. They didn't do anything to deserve any of this.
I'm done.
You think you're done, Reggie? This is over.
I told Reggie that I'm getting a divorce. I can't do this anymore. We already have a place, so you're the one that needs to go. Here's some money for you, traveling money. Go as far as it'll take you. Bye. And he didn't leave. He never went anywhere. And I told the kids, I said, okay, from now on, when you go to school, do not come home till you know that I'm home from work, because I can't protect you if I'm not here. I do know that in my mind, I felt like, okay, once I get this divorce, you definitely have to go because you can't stay here. The divorce papers were delivered, but I didn't know that they were delivered. He never said anything to me. I think he thought that I was not going to do that. At that point, things had kind of calmed down. We hadn't had any other incidents. When I left work, I was going to go do something else, and I don't remember what that was. But in a voice, go home. This voice, go home, go home. And So that's what I did. I went home. We had a little dog, Cotton, and he didn't come to the door. The house was quiet. There was some music on, but it was really, really low. I thought, well, maybe Reggie was listening to it, but didn't hear him, didn't see him. He wasn't anywhere in the house. So I decided that I needed to check on the kids and see what they're doing and get them something to eat. Well, their door to the bedroom was closed. So I opened the door. You know, I saw one in the bed. I said, oh, them sleepyheads, they're still in the bed.
Boys, come on now with the games.
And I said, hey, sleepyheads, y'all need to get up. It's in the afternoon. You done slept all day. What's up? Nobody was responding. So then I go in the room. And Reggie Jr.'s arm is up like this, you know, and I'm looking. And then that's when I saw the bullet hole in his head. I heard somebody scream, but I don't know who it was. But in actuality, it was me. And then I looked up, and then I saw Vaughn had a bullet hole in his head. I think everything was surreal then. I turned around and I looked at Niarco's. I pulled the covers back and I saw his brains everywhere. And I just lost it. I'm not gonna make it. So, I'm sorry, I gotta let it.
Hello?
I called the police. I told them who I was. I told them my address. I told them my husband killed my children.
He said help.
I just was like frozen. And then from frozen to disbelief to, oh, where's Reggie? That was my thought. I'm like, he's got to be here somewhere. And I just told the police, I'll be standing in the middle of the street. I got to get out of here because I don't know where he is and I could be next. I told him my husband killed my children. And I don't know where he is. And everything else is pretty much a blur. I never went back into the house. A whole bunch of things was going through my head, but mostly disbelief. It's not my boys. This happens to other people. Doesn't happen to you. They're gonna get up and walk away. You know, this is a movie. This can't be happening. This is a picture of Reggie Jr., very studious. He's very kind-hearted. He'd help anybody with anything. He had this little crooked smile, you know, which let me know that you're up to something you're not supposed to be doing, but you don't want me to know what it is. This is Vaughn, my second oldest. He was the shy one. He was always keeping his hair so neat. And then it didn't take but a little bit of wind and it would be all over the place. This is my mischievous one. This is Niarchos. And you can tell by that smile, you never know what he's thinking. He didn't do anything bad, but he was always doing something. It makes me sad to think about them and that I can't hold them. It's very, very painful. And it's something that you never get over. I didn't know where he was. He had a gun and probably still had it. So if he could get close enough in the proximity of where I am, I could be next. My now brother-in-law sat there with a shotgun, literally, across his knees until they found Reggie. Somebody knocks on the door, said, "It's police, can we come in?" He had been captured and they were bringing him back and he was in Utah. I don't know where he was going. They told me that he had 2 baggage claim tickets, but he was only claiming 1 suitcase. He did not indicate that there was another bag that had been checked under the bus, and that's where the gun was.
I want to see him.
He claims to this day that he didn't do it, but who else? Who else would? Who else would have a reason to?
Is that correct, ma'am?
He's sitting there, I'm looking at him.
Ma'am.
That I'm answering questions.
Yes, that's correct.
But the whole time I was looking at him, I was just thinking, can I reach him? Can I get to him before they get to me? You know, how far away is he really? You know, how much damage can I do if I do get to him? Will it be enough to end his life? Give me the opportunity to get to him for 2 seconds. That's all I need is 2 seconds. And we won't have to have a trial. We won't have to have anything. And I'm willing to go to jail for that because I have nothing to live for. When I heard that he had been found guilty and was sentenced to death, I had a sense of relief that I would have justice for my boys. This is the shirt that I had on. We wore it in hopes that if Reggie would see us, he would see these shirts and he would know that we were there supporting that justice was finally being done for these boys. We took our seats and we just kind of held each other's hand, you know, and just sat there and waited. The warden did ask him, did he have any last words? And he said no. But one of the last gestures that he made was to stick up both middle fingers. And that was his message, and made a very hard, conscious effort to make sure that they remained up throughout the whole ordeal. So we just kind of just sat there and, you know, trying to stay composed. That was the longest 10 minutes of my life. And was over. Finally, you get to know what it feels like not to draw another breath. And you don't get the chance to hurt anybody else ever again. And hopefully you'll rest in hell. When it was very, very raw, I was very, very angry. And so I lashed out, at people that really didn't deserve it. I had to learn how to stop doing that. I did meet someone I never thought I would. I met him the same year that I lost my children. And then I started dating him the year after. We were together 34 years before he passed. He had 3 children, 3 boys. And these boys are still in my life today. So that in itself has also helped me to get through the last 36 years. But I don't think you ever cry enough. These are the headstones. I wanted Nyarko's in the middle so his brothers could protect him. The inscription on there is, always on our minds, forever in our hearts. My babies. I wouldn't wish this on anybody. I wouldn't want anybody to go through what I've gone through. So anyone that you care about or love, tell them as often as you think about it that you love them. Give them a hug. Never take for granted that they're always going to be here, because that's not true.